Welcome to the Graybeard Chronicles podcast. Your hosts, Brian Halstead and Kevin Harkins, are two gray-bearded patriots who love God, their family and friends, and their country. The Graybeards are here to inspire, inform, and educate you on a myriad of topics they are passionate about. Brian and Kevin have a strong desire to share this with you to help you live your best life. Sit back and enjoy this amazing podcast as the Graybeards pass along the wisdom of the ages.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. I'm Brian Halstead.
And I'm Kevin Harkins.
And Kevin, we're here to pass along some wisdom of the ages. What the heck does that mean?
We're not perfect, but we do have gray beards. And that means we've got some significant life experience, some life lessons, and some perspectives that are worthy of passing along.
Well, I think that sums it up nicely. Let's get to it.
Kevin, what's going on, buddy? Nice to see you in a different format yet again tonight. We got to switch it up every now and then. What's happening?
Clearly, you're in a hotel room somewhere because I can see behind you like a hotel bed and a hotel artwork and a hotel lamp.
So you didn't think, I mean, that's kind of judgmental on your part, don't you think? I mean, you don't think that I just decided to do this from my bedroom?
No, because that's not a bedroom. I've never been in your bedroom, but that's not one that I would ever imagine that you would have. Not that particular like setup.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It's not your vibe.
It is indeed a hotel room. So I am located somewhere not near my residence.
Far enough away to need a hotel room.
That's right.
Yes,
indeed.
All right. Well, this is fun. This is great. I'm ready.
Yeah, it was exciting to see you this weekend at a great event out there at Fred Natch Stadium. That was a good time. A little chili cook-off and a guns versus hoses softball game. The cops played the firefighters, and the firefighters beat the cops.
Pulled it off.
A lot. Really, I think the first game, the one that actually counted, they played a couple games, but the one that actually counted for the victor to be declared, it was like 11-9 or something. So it was pretty close.
I was talking to your son-in-law, Anthony, before the game, and he was 100% sure that the hoses, the firefighters, were going to win that game. He said it was a team full of ringers. So there was no doubt.
Yeah, I heard that, and I mean, that's what those guys do. That's what they do on their off time, is they play softball. Many of them. There are some that don't do it on a regular basis, but some of them are just ate up with it. So it did not surprise me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anyway, what are we talking about tonight?
I don't know. I don't know. What we didn't pick a topic? What? I think we should talk about something that ultimately everyone should know, should be able to do. And at the same time, if you put somebody on the spot right now, could they do it? I think that most people could do it a roundabout way, but would it be a smooth, succinct, clearly delivered message? And that's the question. And what we're talking about here is, and you've heard this phrase before, and most of the time you hear it associated with business, right? When you're representing a business, whether you're selling a product or a service, people want to know, what's your elevator pitch or what's your elevator speech? So the question is, what's your elevator pitch or your elevator speech about you? So let's say you're in the, in the dating game, and what do you say in that 30 seconds when somebody says, so tell me about yourself? What do you say? What's your answer to that question? Do you know? Do you have an answer? If you're in the dating game, I certainly hope you have an answer. But just in general, something to think about for everybody, I think, right? So, who are you? What do you care about? And how would you communicate that to somebody in 30 seconds or less?
I actually love this topic, and I spent some time thinking about how I would introduce myself. What is my own personal elevator pitch? And the more I thought about it, and the more I looked up some stuff on it and read about it, oh my goodness, the power of being able to do this with confidence, like you said, I think most people can and probably do. In fact, and not probably do. They do many times, sometimes per week, maybe even multiple times per day, telling people who they are, what they stand for, and where they went to school, and what their profession is, and all that kind of stuff. But to have something that just is ready to go and just comes out and is interesting, and covers the entire spectrum of your life, and is presented in a way that you have confidence and conviction about it, that's very cool.
Yeah. And if you're talking about representing I might have to rethink my 30 seconds. If you start, the older you get, the longer it might take you to relate the whole information.
Right.
Yeah. So did you prepare one? Do you have yours?
I did.
Look at that. Well, one of us got the assignment right.
What's that?
I said, well, one of us got the assignment right. Yeah, I've been, I haven't actually formally written it out or memorized it. What I was thinking about is kind of prioritizing it. And I also think, just thinking through this thing, it might be slightly different depending upon the audience. So you might have different variations depending upon, what you're doing. But ultimately, I've got a mental picture of what it would roll out like.
Very good. So let me just tell you what mine is, and
right.
And imagine that I walked up to you at some point, you didn't know who I was, and I said something like this, and really that's what I'm wanting the listening audience to pay attention to, and then give me some feedback on it. Hello, my name is Kevin Harkins. I am a husband and a father. I adore my wife and my 30-year-old daughter. I'm a businessman involved in a number of different pursuits. I'm a podcaster where I pass along the wisdom of the ages. I love to build and work with teams that like to accomplish big goals. I like to stay in shape. I like to study leadership. I like to golf. I love to read, and I like to write. There you go.
Well done.
Isn't that interesting? It's interesting to me, probably because it's about myself. But if you heard that, you just kind of stand there and go, wow, where do I start? Right?
Yeah, no doubt. So I didn't hear anything about long walks on the beach.
I mean, I had to fit it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's valid.
I like long walks on the beach very much.
Yeah.
And that would be, well, tell me more about,
No, you're absolutely right. But it would be a way to start a conversation when somebody says, hey, who are you? Well, I'm Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but what I thought was what you were just talking about is I want to come up with something that I can use. And so I just kind of brainstormed and wrote it down and said, there it is. And I think if maybe some folks learn some things about me, I know you and I reveal a lot about ourselves on this podcast, and maybe they don't know. I mean, there's not much they don't know.
Yeah. We do share a lot of information about ourselves for sure.
Yeah. But first impressions are important, and we can't not pay attention to doing that. And it does, I think, make you a much more interesting person on that initial meeting if you say something that's more than just what you do for business. And everybody knows what that elevator speech is, but this is
right.
You're out there networking, you are ready, and when the opportunity strikes, it might be you've met somebody in the grocery store line. It might be at a family event with an extended family member. You just don't know how that could unfold, right, into some sort of further discussion, which leads to, wow, here's an opportunity here that never would have come up if I had not said what I said, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just thinking through, like I said, I've got this mental picture, mine would be something to the effect of, my name is Brian Halstead. I'm and it's funny, they start out the same way, right? So I'm a father, I'm a family man. I am a brother. I'm a Marine. I'm a biker. And I enjoy people and connecting people. I have a strong value set. The values I would share would be my club values, right? Because those are the ones that we are just like drilled into my head. Although there are more, those four values or guiding principles of honor, integrity, loyalty, and dedication are really the pillars. I think that for my life, anyways. Certainly, there are other things that I value greatly, and I would list in that value category.
Yeah.
But love my family, love my wife, love my brothers. I'm a Christian follower of Jesus Christ, and I just love life, and love being around people and helping people get more out of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're doing through our podcast, we're able to do that. So
what's so great?
Certainly, mine needs some work. It was not the smooth flow of yours, but my wheels have been turning ever since we talked about this, and more of a bulleted list that will translate into a more fluid delivery is definitely on the horizon.
The proverb that says iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And what I heard you say made me want to make some adjustments to mine. So you put it out there, practice a little bit with somebody who knows you well, and then just have it, keep it in your hip pocket. And when you go into an event where tomorrow when you're walking the floor on the AUSA conference, and you're not going to spend a lot of time memorizing it tonight, but you'll have some ideas. You control the narrative about what comes out about you. Sometimes you'll meet a person and they just start talking and you never get a word in edgewise. When you finally get a chance to introduce yourself, then you say something that can you control the narrative about yourself. It just ends up being something that you can really run with, and it's pretty cool. I think gives you confidence to talk about yourself as well, and that confidence helps you present yourself with more authority. And anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, I think having it top of mind is helpful.
Yeah.
So if it's not something that you do have in the forefront of your mind, and somebody asks you the question, now you also don't want it to sound like a canned response either.
Right. Absolutely.
So be careful not to veer onto that side. That you really it sound like the old used car salesman or something to that effect.
Right.
Make sure it's authentic and something that really comes across as what you truly believe in as far as yourself and what kind of image you have of yourself. And you make a great point about it's a confidence builder, right? So being able to have those conversations about yourself, and it's not a braggadocious thing. That's a word, right? Braggadocious.
It is.
If it's not a word, it is now. It's more of a matter of fact thing. So you're not bragging and sharing these things about yourself. Somebody asks you a question. Who are you? What do you do? Well, let me tell you.
Yeah. No, I think some things you said, I just want to continue along that same line. Be real. Don't be arrogant. Be yourself. You can even, I think, be aspirational in some of the things that you say about it, that cause them to think, So all of that stuff, and if you just take the time to ask yourself some questions, what do you want people to know about you? What's interesting about you? Where are you headed in your life? What do you identify as? And you said several things, and I did too. You identify as a family man. You identify as a club brother. You identify as and so on and so on. You're giggling because there's other identities.
Right. What do you identify? I am not asking for your damn pronouns.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying truthfully, everybody has their tribe.
Right.
And that's how you identify, and that's what you put into it. And it is ceaselessly interesting when you talk to people about what their tribe is. It is. I think it's really cool. So brainstorm these things, write them down, and then organize them in a way. And then, as you know, as well as I do, there are some really creative people out there, and they will come up with things that very much capture your attention. Like, boom, they got it straight away.
They're fascinating. Just spend some time, taking it in. What was I'm drawing a blank on the term that David shared with us the other night. where it's that understanding of the fact that other people are, have lives as well, basically, and that they're going through their own life experience, not the same as yours, but they're on their own journey, if you will. You remember that term?
Yeah, it was
Sonder, maybe.
Win in the middle of the pack. Is that what the
No,
one?
it was Sonder.
Sonder. Okay.
It was that whole realization and understanding that they're all on their, and I have found myself looking at people in a different way after he made that comment.
Yeah.
And being more curious about people and who they are and what they do.
You pulled that out, man. I'm impressed with that. That word hit you. I'm gonna go back and listen to that again. Make sure I pull that out.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the definition. After not went back, but I went and looked at the definition after he said it.
Right.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to encourage you to spend a couple hours tonight thinking about your personal elevator pitch, so that you're ready to go.
Yeah, I can think about it during that time frame, no doubt.
I'm teasing you.
I know you're just jerking my freaking chain because you know what's on my plate for the evening. So
right. That's exactly why I'm doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's definitely something that I want to work more on to have it more refined. And I can certainly, engage you in conversation and tell you about myself. And at the same time, when you frame it like that, you got 30 seconds, pare it down and make sure that it's, smoothly delivered, but not so much it feels like, you're getting, the person receiving it's going to get a cavity because it's so damn smooth and sweet. Just accurate, honest, authentic, and, succinct.
But you know what I liked about what you said, and I think this is the case for everybody if they do this. You took the minute or two to think about it, but I remember key points in yours because they're very powerful. I'm a family man. I have strong values that I live by. I love the brothers that I work with in the brotherhood with the motorcycle. I ride motorcycles. I'm a biker. Those are all things that paint a very clear picture of who you are, what you stand for, what's important to you. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. Because, I knew all that stuff anyway, but they were powerful concepts. And when you present them that way, it comes across in a way that makes you more interesting, more approachable, and people want to chat with you. And then next thing you know, you're starting a new business with somebody.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Like you're describing a scenario.
Something like that. Yes.
Very cool. All right. Well, I feel like we've covered this, right? With the exception of this, I challenge you, folks that are listening or watching or doing both, to have this conversation with yourself. What is your elevator speech? And spend some time working on it. What pitch would you have if somebody just randomly walked up to you? And this kind of, works well with the networking piece that we talked about several episodes ago. You're in a situation where, this may not be a work event. So you're not using the standard spiel, if you will, or elevator pitch that you would use for that, but it's about you in general. No, I don't, somebody asks you, tell me about you. Well, I do this. No, I didn't ask you. I don't want to know what you do for a living. I don't know. I just want to know about you. What would you say? Yeah. And if you don't have a good answer for that now, then spend some time working on it. And I can assure you, I am doing the same thing. And I just think it's a cool exercise.
Yeah.
So good luck with it.
Good luck with it. It's worth it. It's worth taking the time.
And then I got to say something like this. No matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing, make sure between this podcast and the next, you take time to enjoy the ride.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. Please subscribe so you'll receive notification when new episodes are available. To learn more about the Graybeards, visit their website, graybeardchronicles.com.